as we say normally, every single Monday morning, it is a vibe. What is up, nerds? It's me, buddy Pal Hey Archer. Welcome back to Nerdy Coffee here on Nerd Affiliated. You are here for Order 66, episode 66 of your weekly, again, Monday normally, I'll talk about that, your weekly Monday morning nerdy talk show where we sit back, relax, and enjoy a nice hot, as I'm about to belch, I did, cup of brew, and talk about the news. Oh, wait, one more. Oh, yeah. We have a bunch to talk about. Quite a bit to talk about. And I will get to all that stuff. Man, I'm a mess. Going to the store before doing this live show was a mistake. That was a mistake. It had to be done. Man, talk about regrets. But if you have a YouTube channel, podcast, blog, OnlyFans, newsletter, smoke signals, whatever it may be, put it in the chat. Support one another. Plug yo shits. As I have echo potential. Nope. Solve that problem. Okay. Charge, damn it. Charge. There we go. All right. We're here. We are here because the outside world rejects you. That's why we're here. Just moving the chat so I could see it. Let's go to the top here. Like I said, I was going to be late. I was still late after that. Casual Nerd Josh in the house. Good to see ya. LeBron, never late. I've never been late in the history of any of my live shows. Not once. Aaron Waller in the house. Good to see ya. Loving the thumbnail. Yeah, had to do it. EC in the house. Good to see you. LeBron saying hi to everybody. Alana. Am I saying it right? I feel like I'm saying it right. Alana, good to see you. You're new here. Welcome aboard. EC saying hi to everybody. Love that. We have one of our Twitch bots in the house. Good to see you. I said it right? Great. Awesome. Wonderful. How's everybody's weekend? How was your weekend? I'm a bit of a mess today, so bear with me. It's only because of life, in a good way, that I'm quite a mess. So I'm just going to pull up some screens here before we get the show on the road, and I'll give you a game plan for today. That's probably the best thing to do. Game plan it. Give you the layout. Give you the lay of the land. LeBron says, not really great, but thank you for asking. Well, I hope that your day turns around. Hope your week turns around, your month, your year, all of that stuff. Hope that turns around for you. Because you got friends in me and in all of us. Isn't there controversy around that song? I was about to sing the song, but I was like, wait, I think there's controversy around that song, right? Is that the first thing we're going to look up today? You've got a friend in me. Controversy. What do you mean by short people? Why is the song Short People banned? Is there a theme? No. So Short People's the one that has the controversy. Interesting. All right. You know, that's what we do. We learn new things here on the show. Let me fix this for all of you. Boom. Cool. All right. Nerd Affiliated on Instagram. That is your one-stop shop for all things Nerd Affiliated. Is it bothering you that both screens are up right now? Let me know if that's distracting. I can go to that one screen format. Maybe I should just do that. Hang on. There we go. And then I could zoom. It still feels off. I'm still trying to figure out a good layout for the show. I'm not going to lie. Still trying to figure it out. Because I'm trying to optimize things for Instagram when we go on Instagram as well. So that's part of my like mental struggle, is making things work for Instagram as well. Oh, I know. I'll turn off the zoom thing. There we go. And then I can just do this. Right? I feel like that works. It works for now because we're not on Instagram today. I forgot to do it. I forgot to post it. Nerdaffiliated.com, your one-stop shop for all things Nerd Affiliated. But also, you can head over to Nerd Affiliated on Instagram. Real time, we're making our posts, new videos dropping, all that stuff gets announced over at Nerd Affiliated. But if you are into more of the Ghostbusters kind of thing, we started a second page, The Real Nerdbusters on Instagram. So it's our first foray into a fandom dedicated Instagram. I feel like it's going well. People are enjoying it. So pick your poison, as they say. Pick your poison. Yukon Phil in the house. Good to see ya. He said, "What's up, everyone? All of Archer's prophecies are coming true in the toy world." LeBron said, "There's a lot of shorts with adult meaning with you." Sorry. There was a lot of shorts with adult meaning with "you have a friend in me" that ended with "you have a friend in me." Gotcha. Nerdstradamus. I debated making that the title of today until I realized that this was episode 66. So let's break down how this episode is going to work. It's going to be a little different than normal. And I'll also explain how the show is going to work going forward. So, life update, got a new job. I'm going to hit the soundboard today. I don't normally hit it on a Monday, but it's Wednesday. Got a new job, super excited. I'm loving it. I mentioned it before. I would probably do a video just on that whole thing. So that'll be later. But moral of the story is, got a new job and I'm like a regular citizen again. I'm working Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. It's great. I haven't done that in 8 years. So I'm loving that. So I got to turn the fan on. It's like hot in here. Hang on. All right, sorry about that. So yeah, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, and I'm loving it. But in getting that job and in the job search, I was like, shoot, Hey Archer Live can probably continue without any issue. It doesn't matter really what job I get because of the time slot. But Nerdy Coffee is going to be the issue. So I think what we're going to do, I was going to put a poll up, but I was like, I can't leave it to fate. I have to like really think about it. So Nerdy Coffee is going to continue to be on Mondays, but start time is going to be about 7:45. So it's earlier than usual, and I'm sorry to all of you not on the East Coast. It's going to be an earlier show for you. But I think for now, keeping it the same day will work. I'll just move it up an hour, and that should give me enough time to do the show and to then do my work for work so I can get paid to continue to do these shows, or get paid so I can afford to continue to do these shows. So that's going to be the game. Why do I have this screen up still? I don't need this screen still up. That's going to be the game plan for now. If things change, they will change, but you know, we'll go from there. Now for today's episode, I'm going to split it like into two, where I'm going to talk about box office recap and one or two other things, because I think box office recap might take a long time. So I'm going to talk about box office recap, one or two other things, and then at 8:30, maybe 8:25, we will talk to Hasbro stuff. At 8:30, the Hasbro earnings call will start, so maybe we'll listen to that as it begins. I'll probably interject as we're listening to that live stream. But I glanced over their earnings report today. We'll look at that together. And as the great Joe Rogan said to Brendan Schaub, you may be surprised. You may be surprised. So that'll be a little bit later on in the show. Cool beans. All right. So let us go to box office recap first. Steve in the house. Good to see you. Patrick landed. Good to see you. Yukon, he should pick the numbers. I wish. We've grown accustomed to some nerdy coffee. It's true. It's damn true. East Coast, the best coast. That's true. And congrats. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm loving the job so far. All right. So box office recap. We're starting off with that today. And last week when we talked, I made a prediction, right? And let's go to the sheet. So last week we had the premiere of the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. And I was saying that if they made 25 mil, that would be a win for that movie. I thought it would be hard to do anything better than that, but especially to hit 25. And boy, oh boy, were we correct on that prediction. That movie premiered in fourth place. Civil War held for, I think Civil War was first place last week too. I forget. I think it was. Civil War, first place. Abigail, second place. Kong vs. Godzilla or Kong x Godzilla, third place. And then you had the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. So clicking on that, you know, I was looking at the numbers with the fellas, and the numbers came out on Sunday afternoon, I believe, because we were all looking at it and we were like, 8 mil as an open seems kind of low. And also, it's still early in the day. People are still buying tickets. But I think what they do is they get numbers as the days go on. They look at the pre-orders and they probably like estimate, all right, this is where it's trending. This is where the tickets have been. This is probably where it's going to land. So at the moment, they have it at an opening of 8.9. Thought somebody's behind me. An opening of 8.9. Total domestic 9.4. We could say 9.5. International is only 419,000 for a total of $9,917,065. Looking at the dailies here, they have not updated for Tuesday yet. But as far as Monday goes, it only made 583,000. So yeah, beating a dead horse here. I think we're all in agreement. Some movies just should not be in theaters. And that's where the business model should be going. Make it so that it's a home release. You're selling it to some sort of streaming studio, and you're going from there. So let's take that. Go over to here. Add it to the board. And so right now, sorry, I'm adjusting a screen that you're not looking at right now. All right, so right now, total domestic 9,7,606. International 419,459. And we don't have the budget on that movie yet. I don't think so, at least. Let's see if that's been released. I imagine the budget is not as high as we imagine. It's probably like 150. Oh, is it only 60 mil? Wow, that's great. That's great. Actually, that kind of works out long term. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So there's even a screen rant thing here. Why the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare only made 9 mil the box, but isn't a bomb. The film exceeded early box office predictions of 5 mil. That doesn't mean that's not good. Amazon Prime will stream the movie outside the U.S., explaining its lower box office earning. But that's only international. That's only international. So that's bullshit. All right, so this article's already reaching. I'm already checked out of that article. This other one, new Henry Cavill movie outperforms at the box office despite not cracking top 3. That's bullshit. Stop the cap. I need that button. I need the stop the cap button, just like Henry Resilient has. Let's see where it did versus Argyle. Argyle opened at 17 mil, so it's behind that. And Argyle finished at 95 mil. So will this one reach it? Not sure. But that article is already bullshit. So there's that. LeBron said he wanted to see Abigail. After a group of criminals kidnap a ballerina, daughter of a powerful underworld figure, they retreat to an isolated mansion, unaware that they're locked inside with no normal little girl. All right, so we have a horror movie here that opened up at 10 mil, 15 mil worldwide, horror thriller. All right. Cool. Yeah, let me know how that goes. I'm not being sarcastic, by the way. All right, Spider-Man 2 re-release hit a nice 808,000. And did any of you see that this week? Are we in the one Spider-Man every day cycle right now? I can't remember. Or is it every week? Looking at the release schedule here. Yeah, I see Star Wars for the 3rd. I don't see Spider-Man there. Or was it all at one time? Spider-Man re-release 2024. All right, so we're on Collider. Between April and June. Oh, here we go. Okay, so it's one a week. It's one a week. Oh, wow. We didn't even notice that the first movie was out. I didn't even catch that. All right. So one a week's okay. One a week is okay. Braun said, I want to see Abigail so bad. Kraft said, I'm behind on Godzilla X Kong, and I want to watch Ministry in theaters. I do want to see Ministry. And again, as a reminder for anybody new watching or listening, I may go in on stuff with a critical eye, but that's because that's what we do here. We review things. We talk the news, performance, all that stuff. Review it. So just because we may point out that something failed or didn't do well doesn't mean we didn't want it to do well, or that we didn't want it to succeed. So I do want to watch Ministry, but in the previous rant I did, I pointed out in reviewing something. I want to point out is if it's worth your time to take the 2 to 3 hours out of your day on a day off, most likely, and go to the theaters and lose 3 hours of your day off. Is it worth that? So in a movie like this, I think this is a home release. This is a home release. Should have been from the start. So there's that. LeBron said, don't forget to hit that like button. I appreciate that. Kids don't know about the direct to VHS. I know, right? Every part 2 we got as a kid was all straight to VHS. Oh, sorry. Steve said X-Men was a good one today. I'm really loving the sound design. Yeah, I wanted. I had to go to the store, just to get stuff for breakfast and lunch, and I missed out on X-Men. So I'm gonna watch that later. But I'm really excited to watch today's episode. Horror's your favorite. The Deadpool trailer looked good. Yes. So we also had a new Deadpool and Wolverine trailer. So I won't play it in case anybody's trying to do the I'm going in blind angle. I don't think it's giving anything away to show. Damn, my voice today. I don't think I'm giving anything away to show what Google is showing right now. Am I the right one? No, I keep forgetting to delete that one. There we go. Because this is all over the internet. You're seeing this regardless of what I'm telling you. So the trailer dropped and a lot of people loved it. It's one of the few movies this year I would go see in theaters. But I'd be lying to you if I said I was excited. I was excited. Partially, it's just because of Marvel doing Marvel. I know this is different. I know this is Ryan Reynolds. It's the first Disney Deadpool movie. But I need a good story. I need the story to be better than just Ryan Reynolds doing Ryan Reynolds, if that makes any sense. I'm hopeful for this one. I do want it to do well. It's going to be 1,000% nostalgia hits because they're bringing back everybody they can from prior Fox movies and stuff. But my concern is, I almost said it. I won't say anything in the trailer again in case you're going in blind. But it's the storyline. I'm concerned with the storyline. Also, Hugh Jackman's face looked very CGI. Like, was he de-aged in that whole trailer? Let me know. Patrick says these re-release movies are fillers for the writer's strike. Took all of our 2024 movies, so here's something your dad has on his DVD shelf. Yeah, it's great. It's great. Also, a concern I have with this movie is they kept going during the strike up to a certain point and could not make edits to the script because that would have been against the terms of the strike. So a lot of ad-lib stuff didn't make it, and I'm wondering if that's going to hurt it. So that is a concern as well. Henry in the house, good to see you. Everybody saying hi to Henry. Say EC's here, and Steve agrees. But yeah, one of the few movies I'm excited for, but that excitement's at like 2.5 out of 5. It's not. I'm not hyped in. Like Ghostbusters was the last great hype. Another thing I wanted to talk about here before we go full into toys, we had some dope reveals from Sideshow this week. Holy shit, man. They may have me on this one. So we've been getting a lot of Sith reveals from Sideshow, or Hot Toys, I should say, on the Sideshow website, and they are looking good. They are looking good. So this one is Starkiller from the end of the Force Unleashed. If you do the Dark Side ending, comes with these coins here, and this photography is on point. So shout out to whoever took these photos. Comes with multiple lightsabers from fallen Jedi that he's killed along the way. The blades won't be this bright. That's one of the things I don't like about these photos. The blades are never that bright, even though they do light up. But this one looks good. This one looks like it may be worth $1. I wish we still had a regular Starkiller. This isn't like... The best way I could say it is, this isn't my Starkiller because it's not like I played with this version throughout the whole game. This was just like a post storyline character or character model. So this one I'm least inclined to buy, but I may pick it up on sale. They do sales from time to time. But Revan, though. Revan might have me. He might have me. Actually, surprisingly enough, also not the version you play with through the game, technically, but it's who you are. This, man, the cloth goods, the copper look to the metal on here. Again, photography on point. I mean, that's the pose. That's the pose. And what I love is that the cloth on the arms here, or the fabric is cloth. So you probably don't have to worry about it cracking or anything being in this exact pose for a long period of time. And that's one of the poses to have. So good. So good. In case you don't know, these Hot Toys come with the blades with that effect. We got it one time. It's funny. Out of the Basement was talking about it. One time, the Black Series came out with this effect for Count Dooku, and that was it. It stopped there, and they should have done it more. But Hot Toys will do that. They give you that blade effect as well as just a normal light up on off blade. Damn cats, I tell you. So yeah, $270 for that one. Even if you get the collector's edition, it's $270. So again, it might be a sale purchase, but I don't know. It's one of those Hot Toys I didn't think I needed, but it may have to happen. All right, 827. Let us go to the star of the show, Hasbro. So, something that we do. Let me rephrase that. I said we as though I'm Hasbro. Whenever a company does their earnings report, what they do is they drop the earnings report as a letter first. So they'll drop it first. You could read it, process it. All the news outlets will take that information, start doing their initial stories, get the stories going, and then they follow up with an earnings phone call. A company like Hasbro, they do their earnings call in the morning. So the letter drops giving the report, and then the call is after that, pretty early on. So that's what every company does it like that. Well, sorry. The every company does the letter drops with the information and then the call afterwards. Pretty sure. There may be some exceptions. Not every company does the letter drops and then like a couple hours later the earnings call happens. Some or I should say in the morning. Some wait till after the stock market closes, drop the letter, earnings call after that. So it doesn't affect the stock prices the same day. That would be next day. Whereas on this one, the earnings are announced before the stock market opens up. So what's established here, this will affect the stock throughout the day. Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. I kind of went on a tangent, but either way, this is how it goes. So if I go and just type in Hasbro earnings 2024, you'll see here that people already started their articles because again, the report dropped first before the call happens. So obviously the one thing that grabbed our attention was they finally announced the end of the Lightning Collection. The end of the Lightning Collection. And this is something that we knew was a very, 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 very strong rumor. We knew that was floating around. Shout out to Legacy of Nerd. He was one of the first people to put that out there, that was a rumor. And on the last earnings call, I put it in the story. Oh, did I not share it? Let's see here. Here we go. So going into the last earnings call, I wanted to know about the Lightning Collection. Was that going to be a thing going forward? And also, outside of the crowdfunding stuff, which I don't know if they're going to talk about today, I wanted to know about these partnerships. How do these partnerships work with Hasbro? And I want this to also be covered today. It may not be covered on the show, but I want them to talk about that. Not only the Lightning Collection, but these partnerships. Because as you're seeing here, Hasbro swings to a stronger than expected profit. Hasbro stock pops on strong earnings. Hasbro stock pops on strong earnings. Hasbro's turnaround efforts help first quarter beat profit, ease sales decline. They're doing well. They're doing well. And I need another button. I need it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. Because we watch so many people talk about Hasbro is burning, they're losing so much money. I watch people who don't do toy content. Just, I'll say it, fandom menace stuff. Like, oh, look at all these Star Wars figures and ollies. That means that Star Wars is a dying line in Hasbro, blah, blah, blah. You see all these things, but Hasbro's still turning it around. The method may not be what we like, but they're still turning it around. So over here, it gives you just this whole presentation that they're going to be going through on their earnings call. So we'll scroll through this real quick, see if Power Rangers comes up, and then we'll listen in on the call to see what they're talking about. So here you go. First quarter 2024 highlights. Hasbro revenue decline of -24%. Revenues declined 9%, absent the impact of E1 films and television. So if you forgot, Hasbro was doing a lot of shows in-house and decided to finally sell off that division. So they count that still as a loss. If you take that loss out, their revenue was only down 9%. Wizards of the Coast segment grew 7% behind the growth of Magic the Gathering and the ongoing licensed digital gaming. So once again, the digital content is king. Digital is king at Hasbro. Talked about it last time. That's going to be their model going forward. Push the digital, physical product. We're moving that to other companies and just licensing out. Talked about it before. We're seeing it in real time now. First quarter toy performance in line with expectations. Furby and Hasbro games performed well in the quarter. Crazy to me that Furby is up there. Wild to me. Adjusting earnings profit improvement reflects favorable business mix and benefits to productivity from operational excellence. Inventory levels remain healthy both at retail and at Hasbro. So I was reading the report, not just, this is their presentation that they go through, but I was reading the report and they were talking about how the discounting wasn't as aggressive because inventory was lower the last quarter. So that actually helped them out. Which, if you guys were watching Heritage Live last week, I was talking about how it was weird they hadn't done a warehouse sale this quarter. And if they didn't do a warehouse sale this quarter, that must have meant they had a pretty decent quarter. They didn't have the need to discount, push this inventory out of here. Inventory is too high. Sales are not well. They didn't run into that. So inventory is good. No need to do warehouse sales. It screws us up, but that's the name of the game. Earnings per share growth from improvement operations and favorability from stock compensation adjustments and net interest expense reduction. A lot of just jargon. Don't worry about that for now. So here you go. They go through the performance there, and it looks good. First quarter, here you go. Wizards of the Coast. That one's up. Consumer products are down. Entertainment's down. That one we talked about. So down just 24%. Consumer products here is where that's where us in this community lie. Consumer products are physical product. And you're going to see that this net loss is going to continue to shrink as they stop making the figures. So we already got Toddy Mac involved. We have Super 7 involved. And now we have the announcement of Playmates making the Power Ranger figures going forward. So as they move the production of figures out of house, you're going to see this operating. This is a loss. If it's in parentheses, it's a loss. You're going to see this loss start to diminish. So once again, they are fixing their shit. Operating margin performance. Skip that. Here you go. Inventory. So remember, we kept having all those warehouse sales. So here you go. This is where all the warehouse sales were happening. And then this year, inventory is low. No need for warehouse sale. Sucks for us. End of the Lightning suck. RIP to the Rangers brand. We had a good run. I do love these show the numbers. It's not what you know. It's not what you prove. Henry knows it. Now, something that a lot of us talk about in the toy community is how G.I. Joe does so well. Actually, G.I. Joe might be the only brand that the community now gives flowers to, where they're Hasbro's killing it on this brand. They might just be G.I. Joe, but as we've gone through these earnings reports, this is the fourth one on this channel that we've gone through. It's all right. Real quick sidebar. The reason super chats aren't on is I turn off monetization for the live shows. I turn it off just to not potentially ruin the viewing experience. And then I turn it back on for the replay. So that's why the super chats don't show up. I debate changing that. Yeah, Henry wants the ads. It's, I was watching a stream this week from Ecamm actually, and somebody asked that question, like, should I run ads on my live stream? And the person was like, there's no right or wrong answer here. It's like, what's more important, the viewing experience or making your money? And you can't be faulted for either decision. So in the case of this show, of all the live shows, I like to run no ads just for you guys. And hey, join the channel memberships if you really want to super chat, but every time you watch you can't do it. Just join the memberships. It's more than enough. 99 cents a month. Yeah, I have premium too. I don't get ads. I have to remember to revisit when donating. Appreciate you guys. What was I saying? Oh, so we talk about how well they do with G.I. Joe, when they do wins. Oh, you gifted a membership. Oh, thank you, Henry. Appreciate that. Gifted it to Craft Collects. I love that. Thank you. Actually, Patrick has a membership, so now he has two on both accounts. I appreciate you, Henry. You're the man. So whenever we talk about the G.I. Joe line, how well it's doing when they do a successful HasLab, we're talking as though they're making a lot of money on that stuff, and they're not. They continue to not make money on that stuff. So as you go through these earnings reports, like I said, I think we've gone through 4 of these. Every single time they talk about like the highlights, especially here in brands, I think the only toy line maybe that breaks the line or breaks into this that we collect is Transformers. I think Transformers broke it one time, and that was coming off the movie. But other than that, it's always the gaming stuff. Wizards of the Coast continues to be like the greatest investment they've ever done. So you can see here, these are the brand portfolio performance. So franchise brands, partnerships, and portfolio brands. So you can see here that the partner brands, that's gone up. So I believe that has to do with, there you go, light entertainment calendar coupled with exited licenses. So things that they're giving up, which I don't think they've given up anything that we follow, but they're definitely loaning them out. You have here consumer product op margin performance. We can skip Wizards of the Coast. Continues to do well here. Wizards of the Coast. Cash flow up. Boom. See? There you go. These are okay. All right, so this is what shows you like this year versus last year on the balance sheet. We can skip that for now because we already know things are up. Q1 share in focus. Look at that. Hasbro share change in action figures down. Arts and crafts up. Games up. Preschool toys down. Blasters down. Action figure and accessories, Transformers, point of sale growth in the quarter. Transformers again, see? Exactly what we're just saying. The only one that ever breaks through is Transformers. You guys, you Transformers fans are literally holding up the physical toy side of Hasbro. Play-Doh was the arts and crafts that's up. Gaming, we already know that is. Cash flow, cash is up. Entertainment, they're going to be out of that soon, so we could skip that. All right. So let's check in real quick on this earnings call. See what's going on over there.
Next couple of quarters in line with normal business seasonality. Owned inventory levels to finish the year relatively flat versus 2023. Our much improved inventory position led to over 50% reduction in closeout sales in the quarter. And although this negatively impacted our consumer product segment revenue growth, we did realize a margin benefit from the improved sales rate, and we expect this trend to continue as we move through Q2. While improving the profitability of toys and delivering our cost savings target are two of the company's top priorities, I want to emphasize that we are concurrently staying vigilant around what investment opportunities require incremental spend.
So as that's playing in the background, I went to their report where they kind of talked through all the stuff that we looked at, and Power Rangers is not even mentioned. Not even once. There's Transformers. Yep. Yeah. G.I. Joe. Nope. Ghostbusters. Nope. All right. There you go.
21% decline in consumer products driven primarily by category declines and reduced volume moving through closeout. Q1 adjusted operating profit was $149 million with an operating margin of 19.6%, up about 15 points year over year. This improvement was largely driven by a reduction in costs stemming from our operational excellence program, as well as supply chain productivity gains and favorable business mix, including the E1 divestiture. In aggregate, we were able to deliver significant margin improvement despite ongoing volume deleverage across our toys business. Total Hasbro Q1 adjusted net earnings were $85 million, with diluted earnings per share of 61 cents, driven by the improvement in operating profit, as well as favorability from a stock compensation adjustment and net interest expense reduction. Operating cash flow was $178 million, an $89 million improvement over the same period last year, driven by the increase in net earnings, as well as reduced production expense in connection with our sale of E1. We gave back $97 million to shareholders through the dividend and ended the period with $570 million of cash on our balance sheet. Now let's look at our two major segments in more detail. Starting with Wizards of the Coast and digital gaming, revenue grew 7% behind ongoing digital licensing contributions from Baldur's Gate 3 and Monopoly Go, which, as a reminder, neither recorded revenue in Q1 of last year. We also saw growth in Magic tabletop revenue, benefiting from shipments for our latest set release, Outlaws of Thunder Junction, which arrived in stores last week, as well as a strong reception to our Fallout Commander set. Operating margin for this segment finished at 38.8%, up roughly 13 points year on year, driven by supply chain productivity, cost savings, and improved business mix given.
So I don't know where this takes us, us toy collectors as the world turns. That's the one thing I'm not sure of. We're at a point where every company out there is trying to literally stay afloat. And Hasbro went the direction that most tech companies went, where staying afloat meant layoffs and just budget cutting. You know, they laid off, so many workers. We talked about that. Shut down, or they're going to shut down one of their offices up here in the Northeast. But anytime they're on these calls, the physical toys aren't really mentioned outside of Nerf. Transformers, Play-Doh, like the arts and craft type stuff, because of the profit margins, I guess, are really good on that stuff. But when it comes to the Marvel Legends, when it comes to Ghostbusters, when it comes to G.I. Joe, it's, I wonder if it's just a labor of love where they're like, all right, these brands, some of these lines, maybe they just break even. It's just a break even thing. They're like, hey, it keeps our name relevant, keeps us out there. They just do their job. But not one of these lines ever gets mentioned in as a highlight outside of Transformers that we collect. So I think this will continue down the path I mentioned, where it's all about making money, and they're just going to keep licensing out different lines to Toddy Mac, to Super 7, and then now we saw to Playmates. That's just going to be the route, because they want to keep the, if these numbers keep increasing quarter after quarter, year after year, then the people who run the company make their bonuses and they ride off into the sunset. Doesn't really matter what happens to the rest of us. So let's check in one more time before we wrap today's episode.
For Monopoly Go, we are still planning to record the contract minimum guarantee through the first half of the year, and will continue to watch the data closely as we move through the second quarter. If the current trends continue, there could be the ability to book above the minimum guarantee sooner than the second half, but at this time, we are holding our initial guidance. Wizards' operating margin will be between 38 and 40%, up 2 points from last year, driven by the favorable mix shift within digital, lower royalty rates across Magic, and strong cost management both in supply chain as well as within operating expenses. For consumer products, revenue will be down 7 to 12%, and operating profit margin will be between 4 and 6%. As a reminder, about half of the revenue decline is due to actions we've taken to improve profitability, and the other half is due to prevailing category trends. We continue to expect a similar revenue decline in Q2 as we saw in Q1, with the pace of decline moderating in Q3 and flipping to growth in Q4, behind sharper innovation and marketing effectiveness, as well as healthy retail inventory levels heading into the holidays. However, we expect to see profitability improving as we move through the year, as we build volume ahead of the holidays and we realize more of our net cost savings. For entertainment, adjusting for the impact of the E1 divestiture, revenue will be down approximately $15 million versus last year, and operating margin will be roughly 60%, up significantly, driven by operating expense reductions, as well as lapping the impact of the D&D movie impairment in 2023. We remain firmly on track towards our target of $750 million of gross cost savings by 2025. And given the results in Q1, we are on pace to deliver $200 to $250 million of net cost savings in 2024.
Yeah, things are going well. Things are going well. So to all the, I'll say to all the haters out there, you're right and you're wrong. You're right and you're wrong. Are these toy lines that we love doing well? No. Probably not. Probably not. Safe to say not. But is Hasbro doing well? Yes. So these licensing, loaning stories will continue. I believe that the only... I'm going to keep the prediction I gave out probably 2 earnings calls ago. I think Hasbro, at a certain point, will only in-house make the HasLabs. Some of those cosplay type items. Not all of them. I feel like the helmet business is probably not great for them. But some of the HasLabs, the Two in the Box, the Ghost, all that kind of stuff, I believe that continues to stay in house, but everything else will eventually start to work its way out, is my guess. And the last thing to go will be the HasLabs, if anything. But it's crazy. It's crazy. Talking about well, actually, I'll say this. I for sure, Legacy of Nerd and I will be doing a video on the Lightning Collection news. That'll happen. But, I'm thinking about Ghostbusters here. I'm thinking about Power Rangers here. And it's something that I don't feel people in this community ever want to admit. But, if something is not good, it is not good. And it doesn't matter what it does to the hardcore fan base of that movie, show, toy line, whatever. If casuals are not in, it's going to fail. It's going to fail. And looking at Ghostbusters here once again, this is your sign. This is your sign. Right now, we've got the 4-pack and the Ecto 1 coming out from Hasbro outside the HasLab that's already in production. After that, I think it's a wrap. It's a wrap. The interest in Ghostbusters outside of us hardcores is not there. And that has to be priority number one, is getting mass appeal into these lines. Right now, they're going to try that with Power Rangers by setting it to Playmates and letting them make toys for kids to see if that works. I don't think it's going to work. I think anything outside of Mighty Morphin, not even worth making at this point. Just pump out Mighty Morphin, try to get casual appeal back in, relaunch the franchise, reboot it, something like that. But you got to get casuals in. It doesn't. The hardcore fan base, sorry to say, we don't matter anymore because we're not pumping enough money into this. Is what it is. Once and Always sucked. It did. It is what it is. Once and Always was not good. And it doesn't matter what any hardcore person feels about that movie. No casual person watched Once and Always and then said, I'm going to now invest more time and money into Power Rangers. That's not what happened. And you need that to happen for these lines to continue, for the franchises to grow. It's just business. It's just business. Kraft said, so low expectations for the remainder of 2024 until Christmas, but operations are as normal. Yeah. Geek Strong in the house. Good to see you. Yeah. So, like I said, I'll talk about the Power Ranger thing in more detail with Legacy of Nerd. Hopefully we can get a video out this week talking about that. But Hasbro, still doing it. Still doing it. Despite what the haters will say. It's not what you know. It's what you can prove. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Once again, Nerdy Coffee will be back on Monday mornings. We're looking at 7:45, 8-ish. I'll make a definitive time for you guys on that. But Hey Archer Live continues to be every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. Two different shows, two different vibes. Either way, you're stuck with this guy. What do you think about this Hasbro stuff? What do you think about the Lightning Collection? Are you afraid your favorite line will go away? Leave it in the comments below. And are you going to the movies this weekend to see literally anything? Literally anything. Like, comment, subscribe. Talk to all you nerds in the next video. Peace. I'm out of here.